Welcome back to Roundtable, I'm Nemo, and guys, Frozen 2 is arguably the biggest animated movie to come out in a very long time. Not only is it the sequel to the film that at one point was the highest grossing animated film to ever exist, but at this point it is an unstoppable franchise that everybody knows across the world, and has transcended whatever it means to just be a Disney movie. So a while ago when the trailer for Frozen 2 actually dropped, I was pretty excited to see where they were gonna go with it. I mean, there was a lot riding on this movie, and from what I saw, it looked like they were taking it in a super dark and story-driven direction, with ambiguous trailers and overall just like a super intense vibe that I was totally on board for. But now Frozen 2 is actually out, and I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty divisive film. Frozen 2 currently sits at a 76% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is a far cry from the original 90% it got back in 2013. So what happened here, and do people actually enjoy this film? And if they don't, what are their problems with it? Well, let's start out with the biggest issue with Frozen 2 that I would say, the time gap. Animated movies notoriously take a very long time to make, we all know this, but to wait 6 years is a crazy long time for any franchise, and I'm kind of surprised that Disney took so long to make this movie. Now, again, Frozen is such a huge film that it transcends any sort of time gap, and this film was bound to make money no matter what, so I can see them having confidence that they can wait at least on this franchise. In fact, the film is already breaking every box office record in the world, but if I'm being honest, the fact that Frozen 2 is breaking financial records is not that big of a surprise. The real surprise is the reviews that it's getting. John Anderson from the Wall Street Journal said, "With the full knowledge of committing an atrocious pun, the whole thing left me cold." Damn! John, dude, come on. But that's not to say the reviews are all bad. In fact, the audience score is a 93%, which is even better than the original Rotten Tomatoes score. So this could be just a classic case of a film that the critics grapple with, but the fans love. Looking at a lot of reviews, I think the overall consensus is that it doesn't live up to the original as much, but it still stands on its own as pretty good. A lot of people have taken to Twitter to voice their opinions as well. A lot of people quoted that the clips in the trailer were not even in the movie. That does not surprise me at all, though it does disappoint me. Again, the original Frozen 2 promotional trailer and images that came out made this film look like some big intense adventure and like the darkest Frozen installment yet. Even looking at this movie poster, it's so different. They all look determined and scared and angry. But let's talk about one of the biggest aspects of Frozen, the music. That is one thing that people undeniably are not complaining about. Many people talking about how much they enjoyed the music and how they basically have the same earworm effect that Let It Go did, if not more so, which again, it's not surprising here at all. One of the biggest aspects of Frozen was its incredible job at being a musical and just having standout songs that everyone remembered and loved, and then eventually learned to hate as their kids sang it over and over again. Another thing I don't see people complaining about is animation. People are saying this film is beautiful, and that is absolutely no surprise. I mean, this is Frozen 2. They would not cheap out here. So overall, was Frozen 2 a letdown? Maybe. I guess it depends on what you're looking at. There's tons of fans out there who are absolutely in love with this movie, and there's some people out there who thought it was kind of average. There's even some critics who absolutely hated it. But at the end of the day, any movie is pretty divisive. This is definitely not going to be the last Frozen movie, especially with these box office numbers. And honestly, at this point, I'm just wondering how Frozen's gonna look as an entire franchise, forget the individual movies. Although it was shocking to see this sitting with a 76% and even some worse reviews on other websites, I don't think the story here is as cut and dry as Frozen 2 was bad or Frozen 2 was disappointing. If anything, I think it would be nearly impossible to live up to any movie as big as the original Frozen. They had big shoes to fill, and they had the added hurdle of waiting 6 years to continue the story. So all things considered, I think Frozen 2 was a success. And as a franchise, it's definitely not slowing down anytime soon. But as always, I wanted to get your guys' opinion on this whole thing. Did you see Frozen 2? Have you not seen it? Are you avoiding it? Do you want to see it but you haven't? Let us know in those comments down below, or tweet to us at Roundtable Vids or me at @SnodgRas. If you want to consider helping out the Roundtable, you can support us on Patreon or become a member of the channel and get exclusive access to scripts and avatars. As always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share it, and subscribe to the Roundtable for more incredible cartoon content. As always, guys, I'm Nemo. This is a cartoon news video, and I will see you next time. Peace.